Yeah. So in the last session, you people have been discussed about the sole of the foot, the first and second layers. And for today's session, I will discuss about the third and fourth layers of the sole of the foot. Like when you see the hand, in the hand, we have the intrinsic muscles of the hand. When you compare the hand with the sole of the foot, in the hand, the muscles of the hand are arranged in groups. You have thenar group, you have hypothenar group, like you have the lumbrical muscles, dorsal interossei, palmar interossei. So all these muscles of the hand are arranged in groups. But when you see the muscles of the sole, they are arranged in layers. The first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, like because to allow the locomotion properly, they are arranged in layers. In order to have the daily activity and for the gripping movements, the muscles of the hand are arranged in groups. Is it okay for you people? Is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is like when you compare the muscles of the sole with the muscles of the hand. I am just giving a comparative. Now, when you see the sole skin, it is very thick, isn't it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is very thick, and as well as it is more thicker than the palm itself. When you compare the skin of the palm and the skin of the sole, the difference between the skin of the hand and the sole, if you see, the sole skin is very thick. It is very thick than the other parts of the body. And not only that, this what do you call, the sole of the skin is not presented with any kind of hair. Okay, like when you see the skin of the hand also, there you don't find any hair. Do you find the hair on the thick skin?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No,
So that these are the regions which are devoid of the hair and as well as sebaceous glands. Okay, and it provides the numerous sweat glands. Sweat glands are seen more in case of the skin of the hand and as well as the sole, but the hair and the sebaceous glands are devoid, absent. This is it okay?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah. Now coming to the third and fourth layers of the skin. Now the third layer. So in the third layer, you have the muscles are three in number, one for the little toe and two for the greater toe. So altogether we have three muscles. So how many muscles we have in the third layer?
Three muscles.
Three muscles.
Yeah, three muscles. In these three muscles, one muscle is for the little toe and the two muscles is for the greater toe. And they are located within the confined of the metatarsal region. So between these metatarsal regions only these muscles are confined. So this is the region of the metatarsals. So within this region of the metatarsals, these muscles are confined. So total we have three muscles, one muscle which is exclusively for the little toe and the two muscles for the greater toe. Now what are these muscles? So the first muscle is the flexor hallucis brevis. Is it clear everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, flexor hallucis brevis. So this is the muscle. So this is the flexor hallucis brevis. This is the first muscle of the third layer of the sole. So origin, if you see of this muscle, it possesses a bifurcated tendon of origin. So it possesses a bifurcated tendon of origin where it has got a lateral band and a medial band. The lateral band arises from the plantar surface of cuboid bone. So this is the lateral band, this one. This is the lateral band. This is the medial band. So the lateral band will be taking origin from the plantar surface of the cuboid bone. This is a cuboid bone, this one. So plantar surface of cuboid bone. Whereas the medial band, if you see, this medial band, it takes origin, like it is attached to three cuneiform bones blending with the insertion of tibialis posterior tendon. So the origin of this flexor hallucis brevis, hallucis means it is going to the greater toe. Pollicis means it is going to the what?
Thumb.
Thumb.
So flexor hallucis brevis. Brevis means short muscle. Longus is long muscle. Longest muscles are seen in the leg, right? But in the sole of the foot, you have short muscles which are called as brevis. Brevis means short. So flexor means action. So action of that muscle is flexion. Hallucis means it is acting upon the greater toe. Brevis means the muscle is short muscle. So the flexor hallucis brevis is a muscle of third layer of the sole which has got a bifurcated origin, which has got two bands. One is a lateral band. This is lateral band. All of you see this is late because little toe is great. Lateral side or medial side? Little toe.
Lateral side.
This is which band?
Lateral band.
Very good. This is medial band. So lateral band arises from the plantar surface of cuboid, whereas the medial band arises from the three cuneiform bones, and also it blends with the tendon of tibialis posterior. This is origin. Then coming to the insertion, if you see, the insertion of this flexor hallucis brevis, if you see, it forms a bipinnate muscle which covers the plantar surface of first metatarsal bone. Yes, definitely. Is it covering this metatarsal bone or not?
Yes, sir.
If you see in this picture, this flexor hallucis brevis is a bipinnate. You can see the fasciculation of muscle also, the fibers. So this is a bipinnate muscle, and this bipinnate muscle, it forms, it covers the plantar surface of the first metatarsal bone and inserted distally by splitting into two tendons. So distally means away. As it is moving away, as it is moving forward, it is splitting into two tendons. Can you see here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see here, this is one band. This is lateral band, which is taking origin for the cuboid bone. This is the medial band. Okay. And this medial band is blending with this tendon. Can you see this tendon? Tibialis posterior tendon. It blends with tibialis posterior. So this medial band and lateral band, as they're moving forward to its insertion, they are splitting. So the medial they are splitting into two tendons, each intercepted by a sesamoid bone. So between these, you have a sesamoid bone. So sesamoid bone is seen here in between the split of the tendon of flexor hallucis brevis. Now coming to the medial tendon. Now this is the medial tendon, the medial slip or medial band or medial tendon. Anything is similar. This medial band, it is inserted to the medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe with the common tendon of abductor hallucis. Now can you see here this muscle?
Yes, sir.
These are the muscles of first layer. Can you see? Is it or not? These are the three muscles of first layer: abductor hallucis, flexor digitorum brevis, and abductor digiti minimi. These are all the three muscles of the first layer of the sole. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what he is telling is this medial tendon of flexor hallucis brevis, it will be inserted onto the medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe with the common tendon of abductor hallucis. See, this is the common tendon of abductor hallucis. So along with this tendon, this medial band is also blending and getting inserted onto the medial surface or onto the medial side of the proximal phalanx of the greater toe. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Coming to the lateral tendon. Now this is the lateral band. The lateral tendon or the lateral band of flexor hallucis brevis. Now this muscle, this tendon is attached to the lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of the greater toe. in common with insertion of adductor hallucis. Now, can you see this muscle? This is the adductor hallucis. This is also one of the muscle of third layer only, adductor hallucis. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the flexor hallucis brevis is taking origin from two bands. One, the lateral band, two, the medial band. The lateral band and medial band, they form a bipinnate muscle. They cover the plantar surface of the first metatarsal bone, and they split into two tendons on reaching to the insertion point. The medial tendon, can you see this one, medial tendon?
Yes, sir.
The medial tendon is inserted onto the medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of the greater toe, whereas this is the lateral tendon. This lateral tendon is inserted onto the lateral surface or lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of the greater toe, along with the common tendon. Can you see this tendon? Can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
This is the adductor hallucis. Adductor hallucis. Whereas this medial tendon, it will be blending with the common tendon of abductor hallucis. Abductor hallucis is a muscle of first layer of the sole. Is it clear? Is it clear, everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So what is this muscle? What is the muscle of third layer? First muscle is what?
Flexor hallucis brevis.
Flexor hallucis brevis. Origin is clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Insertion is clear, everybody? So this flexor hallucis brevis, will be inserted onto the either sides of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The medial tendon is inserted onto the medial side. The lateral tendon is inserted onto the lateral side. Both these tendons are inserted onto the base of the proximal phalanx of the greater toe. Now, what is the nerve supply? The nerve supply of this muscle is medial plantar nerve. Medial plantar nerve. And the action of this flexor hallucis brevis, the name itself says what? Flexion. It produces plantar flexion. The action of this muscle is what?
Plantar flexion.
Yeah, plantar flexion. Plantar. Are you able to see the video of mine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the nerve supply is medial plantar nerve. The action is, it is meant to the plantar flexion of the greater toe. Can you see it, this one? This picture.
Yes, sir.
This is the plantar flexion. This is dorsiflexion. This is the dorsiflexion of the greater toe. Dorsiflexion. Yes, which is done by the extensor hallucis longus, which is the muscle of extensor compartment of leg. Are you aware of it? Are you aware of the dorsiflexion of greater toe? The dorsiflexion of the greater toe is done by the extensor hallucis longus. Extensor hallucis longus, which is a muscle of extensor compartment of leg. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now this is the plantar flexion. This is the plantar flexion of the greater toe, and this action of the greater toe is brought by flexor hallucis brevis, which is the muscle of third layer of the sole. May I proceed to the next muscle?
Yes, sir.
Adductor hallucis. Adductor hallucis. Now this adductor hallucis, it arises from two heads. So it arises from by two heads. One is oblique head, number two is transverse head. Can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
This is transverse head. Can you see this muscle?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is oblique head. This is oblique head. This is transverse head. What is this muscle?
Flexor hallucis brevis.
Hallucis brevis.
This is flexor hallucis brevis. Just now we have discussed, right, about that muscle. Flexor hallucis brevis. So this one, here it is very clear. This is the flexor hallucis brevis, and this is the adductor hallucis. This adductor hallucis, this is the oblique head. This is the transverse head. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
We will talk about this muscle nerve, which is adductor hallucis. So adductor hallucis means what is the action of this muscle?
Adduction of the
Adduction of
big thumb.
greater toe or great toe. Very good. So origin of adductor hallucis is it arises by two heads. One is the oblique head, which arises from the base of second to fourth metatarsal bones and from the sheath of peroneus longus. Now, can you see here this one? Can you see this muscle?
Yes, sir.
This is second metatarsal. This is third metatarsal. This is fourth metatarsal. Are you able to make out?
Yes, sir.
Second, third, and fourth. From where they are taking origin? From the basis of second to fourth metatarsal bones, they take origin, and also from the sheath of peroneus longus. So these are the origin points of the oblique head of adductor hallucis. This one. And what about the transverse head? The transverse head has no bony origin. It has no bony origin. That doesn't take origin from the bone. It has no bony origin and arises from the deep transverse metatarsal ligament. So this transverse head is taking origin from where? Are they taking origin from bone?
No.
No,
sir.
The transverse head of the adductor hallucis, it has no bony origin and they arises from the ligament, which is the deep transverse metatarsal ligament, and from the plantar metatarsophalangeal ligament from third to fifth toe. So from here, one, this is first toe, this is second toe, right?
Yes, sir.
First toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. So from the third, fourth, and fifth, from the third, fourth, and fifth toes of ligaments of deep transverse metatarsal ligament and the plantar metatarsophalangeal ligament, from these ligaments, this transverse head of the adductor hallucis will take origin. Is it clear, everybody? May I change the slide? May I
yes, sir.
Yeah, are you aware of the adductor hallucis? It has two heads of origin. One is oblique head, which takes origin from the basis of second, third, and fourth metatarsal bones, whereas the transverse head, it takes origin from the ligament, which is a deep transverse metatarsal ligament, and as well as from the plantar metatarsophalangeal ligaments. Hence, it is most important to know that the transverse head of adductor hallucis will not have any bony origin. Instead, it takes origin from the ligament. Which ligament?
Deep
Transverse
transverse
metatarsal ligament.
Right.
Plantar metatarsal.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Can you see here very clearly the ligaments, how they're taking origin? Is it clear?
Sir.
Yeah. So what is the insertion? The insertion of this adductor hallucis, if you see, Both heads meet at an acute angle, and the tendon thus formed is inserted onto the lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe. Can you see it, this one? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see the tendon here, whitish tendon?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
this transverse head and this oblique head of adductor hallucis, both they fuse to form a tendon, and this tendon is inserted onto the lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe, along with what muscle? What is this one?
Flexor hallucis brevis.
Which tendon? Lateral or
Lateral tendon. Lateral tendon.
very good. Along with the lateral tendon of the flexor hallucis brevis, the tendon of adductor hallucis will blend, and both they are inserted onto the same point, which is lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of greater toe. Now, what is the nerve supply of this adductor hallucis? Adductor hallucis is supplied by the deep branch of lateral plantar nerve. Deep branch of lateral plantar nerve. And the action of this adductor hallucis, already I told you that it is meant for the adducts. It adducts the greater toe towards the axial line of the foot. Axial line passes through the middle of the second toe. This is axis. This is the axis of foot, everybody. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This finger will be in the midline, so this forms the axis of foot. That's the reason it will not move, it will not make adduction or abduction. These fingers can be made abduction or abduction, the toe and the other fingers, but the second finger will remains constant. That cannot be adducted or cannot be abducted. That forms the axis. If you want, you can check also after the class. Okay. Like if you see the, what is this finger?
Middle finger.
So middle finger is the axis of the hand. So this finger will be remain same like that. But other fingers can be adducted, abducted. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that this finger, the middle finger, is the axis of hand. So that's the reason it is not moving either towards adductor or abduction. It is forming the axis of hand, so that other fingers can be adducted or abducted, but that finger remains constant, remaining in its position. The same way, the second toe, it forms the axis of the foot. That's the reason it remains constant at its position, and whereas other toes can be moved, can have adduction or abduction. So adductor hallucis is the muscle of the third layer of the sole, which is adductor of the greater toe towards the axial line of the foot. So what is this action now? If you move your greater toe towards second toe, it is called as what?
Adduction.
Away from this second toe is
Abduction.
abduction. So that's the reason, right? Yeah. That is all about the second muscle of the third layer, which is adductor hallucis. Now coming to the third muscle of the third layer is flexor digiti minimi. Flexor digiti minimi brevis. Are you able to see the diagram?
Yes, sir.
This is the flexor. See, all of you clearly you can make out all the muscles. This is the flexor hallucis, right? Flexor hallucis brevis. This is the oblique head of adductor hallucis. This is the transverse head of adductor hallucis. This is what?
Flexor digiti minimi brevis.
Minimi brevis.
Can you make out all the three muscles clearly in the third layer of the sole of the foot?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Coming to the origin of this flexor digiti minimi brevis, the origin, it arises from the plantar surface of base of the fifth metatarsal bone and from the sheaths of the peroneus longus. So it takes origin from the base of the fifth metatarsal bone. It takes origin from the base of the fifth metatarsal bone, and insertion is this muscle passes along the undersurface of the fifth metatarsal bone and inserted by a narrow tendon to the lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx of the little toe, in common with the tendon of abductor digiti minimi. Abductor digiti minimi. Is it clear? Is it clear? Can you see this muscle, first layer muscle?
Yes, sir.
This is abductor digiti minimi. This is the muscle of first layer of the sole. Abductor digiti minimi.
Minimi.
Yeah. So along with this muscle, the flexor digiti minimi is also inserted. So deep to this abductor digiti minimi, you will see the flexor. If you remove this muscle, if you cut this muscle, and if you go deeper, you will see this muscle. You will see this muscle. Now here, the abductor digiti minimi is removed. The first layer muscle is removed so that you can see this muscle, which is called as the flexor digiti minimi. So this flexor digiti minimi, if you see, this muscle is inserted by a narrow tendon to the lateral side of the base of the proximal phalanx, in common with the in common with the tendon of abductor digiti minimi. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the action of this muscle? Can you make out?
Flexion of the little toe.
Very good. Flexion of the little toe. So here, the flexor digiti minimi brevis, this muscle, the nerve supply is it is supplied from the superficial branch of lateral plantar nerve, and the action of this muscle is it helps in plantar flexion of little toe. So this is the plantar flexion. Can you see on this one? Yes, can you see this picture?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the plantar flexion of the little toe. So this is the flexion of toes, plantar flexion. This is extension, dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion of the toes is this. Plantar flexion of the toes is this. This way we do it. This is the abduction and this is the adduction. In the same actions, the second toe will be remain same as it forms the axis. And this action is pronation of the foot. This is the supination of the foot. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about the flexor digiti minimi. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if one thing you have to see here, what is this muscle?
Flexor digiti minimi brevis.
Okay, next. What is this muscle?
Adductor hallucis.
Adductor hallucis.
Answer.
Okay, now here, can you see this triangular area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So between the flexor digiti minimi brevis and the adductor hallucis, you are seeing a triangular space. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this triangular space is occupied by the muscles of fourth layer. It is occupied by what?
Muscles of fourth layer.
Not only that, it is also occupied by the plantar metatarsal vessels. Plantar metatarsal vessels, and it is also occupied by the deep division of plantar nerves. Deep division of plantar nerves. Is it clear, everybody? You want
Yes.
to?
Yes, sir.
You want me to repeat, or shall I change the slide?
Repeat it again, sir.
This triangular space is occupied by the muscles of fourth layer of the sole, This triangular space is also occupied by the plantar metatarsal vessels, plantar metatarsal vessels, and also the deep division of lateral plantar nerves, deep division of lateral plantar nerves. All these structures are occupied in this triangular area between the flexor digiti minimi and the transverse and oblique heads of the erector hallucis. The nerve supply of flexor digiti minimi is from the superficial branch of lateral plantar nerve, and the action is plantar flexion of the little toe. Is it clear, everybody? Shall we move to the fourth layer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The fourth layer, if you see the fourth layer, in the fourth layer, we have 7 intrinsic muscles. In these 7 intrinsic muscles, 4 are dorsal interossei and 3 are plantar interossei. Now, when you compare, when you see the muscles of the hand, in the muscles of the hand also, we have 4 plantar interossei, 4 palmar interossei. 4 palmar interossei, 4 dorsal interossei. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
4 palmar interossei, 4 dorsal interossei you see in the hand. But in case of the foot, you have 4 dorsal interossei and 3 plantar interossei. So altogether we have 7 intrinsic muscles in the fourth layer and 2 extrinsic muscles. And the 2 extrinsic muscles are only the tendons, which are peroneus longus and tibialis posterior. Peroneus longus and tibialis posterior. I think you all people know about this insertion, origin, action, nerve supply of peroneus longus and tibialis posterior. These 2 muscles are the muscles like the peroneus longus. It is a muscle of lateral compartment of leg, whereas tibialis posterior, which is a muscle of posterior compartment of leg. I think you all people are aware of its origin, insertion, nerve supply, and action. So I will not go in detail about this peroneus longus tendon and tibialis posterior tendon, but we will talk in detail about the dorsal interossei and plantar interossei of the fourth layer. So how many dorsal interossei we have?
4.
4.
Yeah. Plantar interossei?
3.
3.
Okay. See, the dorsal interossei muscles are bipinnate muscles. They are the bipinnate. They are 4, you can see. They are bipinnate, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have 4 dorsal interossei muscles, and all these 4 are bipinnate muscles. So these are 4 in number, and they are bipinnate muscles. Okay, and each muscle arises from the adjacent sides of the shaft of 5th metatarsal bones and fill up the intermetatarsal spaces. Okay, so each muscle arises from where? From adjacent sides of how many metatarsals we have?
5 metatarsals.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all these dorsal interossei muscles, which are bipinnate muscles, okay, which are numbered from medial to lateral side. Medial to lateral side. So this is medial side, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is first dorsal interossei. This is second dorsal interossei. This is third dorsal interossei. This is fourth dorsal interossei. So likewise, the numbering of this dorsal interossei will be from the medial to lateral side. And all these dorsal interossei, what is the action? You know, they are the abductors of the toe. What does they do?
Abductors of the
Abduction.
Can you see here? Abductors. Abductors are the dorsal interossei. So dorsal interossei muscles are abductors. And this dotted line represents what?
Axis.
Axis.
Axial line.
This is the axis, not axial line, axis. This is the axis of the foot. So the dorsal interossei muscles are 4 in number, and the action of these dorsal interosseous muscles are, they are the abductors of the toes. Now, from where does these muscles will take origin? Each muscle arises from the adjacent sides of the shafts of 5 metatarsal bones and fill up the intermetatarsal spaces. Now, this space, can you see? What is this bone?
First
metatarsal.
What is this bone?
Second metatarsal.
Second.
In these two bones, you have space.
Yes, sir.
Now, this space is called as intermetatarsal space. Now, this intermetatarsal space is filled by what?
Dorsal interosseous.
Dorsal interosseous muscle.
So, the dorsal interosseous muscles are filled between the spaces between the two metatarsal bones, and that space is called as intermetatarsal space.
Metatarsal space.
So, each muscle will take origin from the adjacent sides of the shafts of the metatarsal bones and fill up the intermetatarsal spaces. Yes, this first dorsal interosseous muscle is taking origin from which surface? Lateral surface of the shaft of the first metatarsal bone and
Medial surface
Face
of
of the shaft
Of the
of the
second
second
metatarsal.
metatarsal bone.
medial surface of the shaft of the second metatarsal bone. So from either sides, it is taking origin and it is forming the first dorsal interosseous. Same way, second, third, and fourth, if you see, all these muscles will be taking origin from the adjacent sides of the metatarsal bones of the foot. Then the triangular gap between the two heads, of the origin of the the first dorsal interosseous transmits in vessel which is called as dorsalis pedis artery to complete the plantar arch. Now everybody see here. This is the first dorsal interosseous or no?
Yes, sir.
So just at the origin of this first dorsal interosseous muscle, this anterior tibial artery, this is can you see this one? This anterior tibial artery continues as dorsalis pedis artery. This dorsalis pedis artery, on reaching to the first interdigital cleft, it dips or penetrates or perforates and moves to the plantar surface of the foot to join or to complete the plantar arch. So what is telling? At the origin of the first dorsal interosseous muscle, this dorsalis pedis artery will dip or it moves to that space. So a triangular gap between the two heads of the origin of the first dorsal interosseous transmits dorsalis pedis artery. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Transmits the dorsalis pedis artery to complete the plantar arch. Now, what about the other spaces? You have other space here also. The space is present at the second dorsal interosseous, third dorsal interosseous, fourth dorsal interosseous. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So all these spaces, these spaces, they will allow to transmit the perforating arteries. What arteries?
Perforating arteries.
You can see this is perforating artery. This is the perforating artery. This is the perforating artery. This is dorsalis pedis artery. So perforating arteries are arising from this arcuate artery. From the arcuate artery, you are seeing the branches arising, which are called as perforating arteries. These perforating arteries will be transmitting through the adjacent interosseous muscle spaces. But from the first dorsal interosseous muscle through that space, you are seeing an artery is moving, which is called as the dorsalis pedis artery. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what is the insertion? Now, each dorsal interosseous forms a narrow tendon and passes forwards in the cleft between the toes. Yes, they're passing between the cleft between toes or not?
Yes, sir.
This tendon is passing between the first and second toe. This tendon is passing between the second and third toe. This tendon is passing between the third and fourth toe. This tendon is passing between the fourth and fifth toe. So the tendons, these muscles are forming a narrow tendon and these narrow tendons are passing forward in the clefts between the toes. Now what happens to the insertion? The first dorsal interossei, partly, it is inserted partly to the medial side of the base. It is inserted partly to the medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of second toe, and partly joins with the dorsal digital expansion for insertion into dorsal surface of bases of middle and terminal phalanx. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this dorsal interossei muscle, initially it is inserted where?
Base of the proximal
Medial.
phalanx.
See, everybody look at here. This is terminal phalanx. This is middle phalanx. This is proximal phalanx. So it is partly inserted initially at the which side? Medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of the second toe. And a part is inserted into where? Middle and terminal phalanx also. Through dorsal digital expansions. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So ultimately, the first dorsal interossei muscle is inserted into the terminal phalanx. It is inserted into the middle phalanx, and as well as it is inserted into the terminal phalanx also. But directly it is inserted onto the base of the proximal phalanx, but indirectly it is inserted onto the middle and terminal phalanx through the dorsal digital expansion. That is what he is telling. See here, partly joins with the dorsal digital expansion for insertion into dorsal surfaces of bases of middle and terminal phalanx. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this muscle is moving on to which surface? Plantar surface or dorsal surface? Can you see here? You can see, you can make out here very clearly. Can you see here? This is the dorsum of the foot. This is the dorsum of the foot. This is the plantar aspect of the foot. This is the plantar surface of the foot. This is the dorsal surface of the foot. You can see the extensor retinacula. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So can you see this hood-like extension?
Yes, sir.
This is called as dorsal digital expansion. So this is what muscle?
Dorsal interossei.
You see the tendon, how it is moving, it is inserted into this dorsal distal expansion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this dorsal interossei muscle, this muscle will be inserted onto the proximal phalanx, base of the proximal phalanx initially, and after that it is blending with the dorsal digital expansion, moving onto the dorsum of the foot and get inserted into the middle phalanx and terminal phalanx again onto second toe only. So this first dorsal interossei muscle is inserted onto the base of the proximal phalanx directly, and partly it is inserted onto the middle and terminal phalanx through the dorsal distal expansion. So this line says that. So partly joins with the dorsal digital expansion for insertion into the dorsal surface of the bases of the middle and terminal phalanx. So dorsal digital expansions is nothing but they are the modified deep fascias again. They are the modified deep fascias which are extending from the extensor tendons. So this is a hood. This is a hood-like expansion which is called as dorsal digital expansion. Yeah. Now what about the second, third and fourth dorsal interossei? The second, third and fourth dorsal interossei are respectively inserted to the lateral sides of bases of proximal phalanx of second, third and fourth toes in addition to the dorsal digital expansion. So they are also same way, right? So they are also inserted onto the lateral sides of the bases of the proximal phalanx of second, third, and fourth. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the action of this muscle? Dorsal interosseous?
Abduction.
Abductors.
Abductors. So now supply is all the dorsal interosseous are supplied by the deep branch of lateral plantar nerve. In addition, first and second dorsal interosseous may be supplied by the terminal branches of deep peroneal nerve. Deep peroneal nerve is a nerve of which compartment of leg?
Lateral compartment.
Nonsense. Lateral compartment of leg is supplied by superficial peroneal nerve.
Extensor compartment.
Very good. Extensor compartment of leg. Extensor compartment of leg is supplied by deep peroneal nerve. Damage to this deep peroneal nerve will lead to what? Yes, Kirti, 36 rule number. Damage to deep peroneal nerve causes what? Is Kirti is available? Roll 36.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, damage to deep peroneal nerve causes what?
Loss of extension of the leg.
What is that condition called as? Indira, 61 rule number Indira.
Yes, sir.
What is the condition called as? Have you heard the foot drop? Have you heard the term foot drop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Foot drop where the foot is plantar flexed. The foot cannot be dorsiflexed. The foot will be plantar flexed. That condition is called as foot drop, and this foot drop is due to the damage of the deep peroneal nerve. Okay. So all the dorsal interosseous muscles are supplied with the deep branch of lateral plantar nerve. In addition to this, the first and second dorsal interosseous may be supplied by terminal branches of deep peroneal nerve. And the action of this dorsal interosseous muscles are abduction of middle three toes. Abduction of middle three toes. That means third, fourth, and fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth. Sorry, second, third, and what do you call fourth? Plantar interosseous. How many muscles we have?
Three muscles.
Three muscles.
Three muscles. So we have three, and all these are unipinnate. Sorry, unipinnate. All these plantar interosseous muscles are unipinnate muscles, and they act as adductors. Dorsal interosseous are abductors. Plantar interosseous are adductors. So adductors of lateral three toes. Lateral three toes means again here this one. Middle. This is what? Fifth, fourth, and third. I said second is axis. Second toe is axis. It cannot move. So the adductors will be happening only with the third, fourth, and fifth. Origin. Plantar interosseous muscles arises from the medial side of the plantar surface of shaft of lateral three metatarsal bones. So lateral three metatarsal bones are third, fourth, and fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you all okay or getting into confusion? Yes, may I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So origin of the plantar interossei muscles, they arise from the medial side of the plantar surfaces of the shafts of the lateral 3 metatarsal bones. Okay. The first plantar interossei muscle arises from the third metatarsal bone. The second plantar interossei arises from the fourth metatarsal bone. The third plantar interossei muscle arises from the fifth metatarsal bone. Okay. Third, fourth, and fifth. So first, second, and third interossei, plantar interossei muscles. All these plantar interossei muscles, all these plantar interossei muscles, they will take origin from the medial medial side of plantar surface of the shafts of third, fourth, and fifth metatarsal bones. Insertion. Now, where does these muscles will get inserted? So these plantar interossei muscles, they are inserted like each muscle passes forward on the medial side of the lateral toe. They passes forward on the medial side of the lateral 3 toes and inserted mainly to the medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of corresponding toe. Medial side of base of the corresponding toe. So this first plantar interossei muscle. What is this bone?
Third
Third
metatarsal bone.
metatarsal bone.
What is this bone?
Proximal phalanx.
Proximal phalanx of which toe?
Toe. Third toe.
Of the third toe.
Third toe, right. So third plantar interossei muscle will move to the which side? Medial side of the base of the proximal phalanx of corresponding toes. So all these muscles will move and get inserted on the medial side of the basis of the proximal phalanx of corresponding toe. Nerve supply. It is supplied by deep branch of lateral plantar nerve, except third plantar interossei, which is supplied by superficial branch of lateral plantar nerve. And the action is adduction of lateral 3 toes. Adduction of lateral 3 toes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is all about the dorsal interossei and palmar interossei, which are the muscles of fourth layer. Okay. And along with these muscles, you also have 2 tendons in this layer, fourth layer. One is peroneus longus,
Peroneus longus,
tibialis posterior. This one, can you see it? This one? This is peroneus longus, and this is tibialis posterior. Can anybody say the insertion of peroneus longus?
Ba- Medial side of the base of the first metatarsal bone and medial cuneiform bone.
Which surface? Medial surface of? This is medial surface or lateral surface?
lateral
Lateral
Yes.
surface.
Lateral surface of the base of the proximal phalanx of the, base of the medial surface of the base of the first metatarsal. And what is this one? What is that?
Medial cuneiform bone.
Medial cuneiform.
Medial cuneiform bone. So this is the peroneus longus. Okay. And what is the insertion of tibialis posterior?